You've brought me the Zelnaga artifact. It was good of you to save me the trouble of finding it for myself.
Warning, large zerg force incoming.
We're not ready for this many. We'll have to use the artifact.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Terran Academy. In this video I'm going to show you the final campaign mission of the Terran game, which is under the brutal setting. I wouldn't take credit for this because I find this tutorial in one of the YouTube videos, but I find this quite useful, so I would like to share my play here. What you do is you use siege tanks, which I really like a lot in my offense game. What you do is you rally your forces in the middle of your base, and you build a lot of siege tanks to fire upon your enemies. What you do is you have two factories. The two factories will be placed in the middle, while you have all the other structures on the other side. In terms of upgrades, the key important upgrades are having the Marines with stim packs and the shields, medics with the heal, and then the slow towers for Terrans, the final research, the third. And then in terms of the siege tanks, you have full upgrade on the friendly fire and the other upgrade, which I forgot which, but yeah, upgrade the 2 attacks for siege tanks. That's really important. And then you want the reactor attack labs also. And for the final mission, you play this under the Nydus Worm setting, but not the air attacks, because this strategy is based largely on the siege tanks. So yeah, here's what you do. You build a lot of bunkers around your base, making a triangle in your base, and then enemies will come by at the top side and also the left side, and which the siege tank will just fire at them and be protected by the bunkers. You'll have two factories, and you'll be continue pumping 2 siege tanks in each factories. You don't need any other units, and you try to save a lot of unit space for your tank army to be defending your base. You don't really need the battle cruisers and the banshees, and at certain stage in the game you can just discard them by just using them to defend or something like that. And in terms of attack upgrade, make sure you research the attack for land units and the infantry units, and then you don't really need the shields. And I mean the defense for the vehicles and the defense for infantry, you don't really need that. What you do now is you build a bunch of Marines in the middle of your base. That is not for defense purpose, but rather that is for Kerrigan. When she comes by, then you use your drop ships to drop your Marines in front of her and use the Marines to take her out instead of waiting for your defenses, your static defenses in your base. Because what you do is, if you take the Marines cost much less than let's say a tank and a bunker and or other, let's say the towers, the slow towers. The strategy is basically like this. You just keep on building resources, supply depots. You don't build a lot of SCVs, and you build around 20 plus marines in the middle of your base, and just make sure you, when you do this strategy, you look at my video and see how the siege tanks are placed. This is essential because where the siege tanks are placed, they will have maximum firepower, fire range for every single siege tank at that point. That means when enemies comes by, every siege tank will fire at almost the same time. This is a very smart thing to do under this game. If you have played tower defense or certain games, similar games like that, this is this is something like that. You just put a lot of defenses in your base, and the enemies come by at certain directions. And yeah, and those supply depots, you don't really defend those because they're really too far away. But yeah, you can for certain take any air units to take them out. So yeah, in this stage you have to defend against the zergs and Kerrigan, and you have to wait until the energy nova is recharged to 100% to finish this mission. I had a few tries myself, but I've tried different things, for example using a planetary fortress, but it wasn't successful because the zergs are really overwhelming. Until I saw this tutorial on YouTube, I have no way of getting past this stage. Yeah, another thing is make sure you build towers and defenses around your base, because at certain point there will be airdrops regardless of you choosing air or the Nydus Worm.
Alert. Class 12 psionic waveform detected.
And when you hear this, Kerrigan will be coming in. Once you do that, load all your marines in your dropship, and then move them up at certain place. And make sure you use the energy nova just before she comes in, and so you can unload your marines. I didn't do this perfectly as it should be, and I was lucky because there seems to be a glitch where Kerrigan just stopped for a second. So yeah, if I was to do this exactly as planned, I will have 20 marines waiting for Kerrigan to come in, and Kerrigan will be only destroying the marines, killing the marines at 50 minerals each, rather than now I lose my bunker for 100 and lose my banshee for certain amount of minerals. In the middle of the base, there's where you use your mercenaries. You hire the tanks, the siege tank mercenaries. And why they are placed in the middle is because they have stronger attacks, and so they can cover both sides of your base. And so make sure you continue pumping marines and tanks, and make sure your supplies are enough, because your outside supply depots will be destroyed at some point. Don't worry about the Nydus Worm, because you don't have enough forces to really go and hit them.
Disturbance detected. Nydus Worm
The major
inbound.
objective of this strategy is to build a lot of things. At the end I counted the number to be around 30 something things all around the base, and that already filled up all your supplies basically. And then there goes. Basically just go on with this strategy, and there's also part 2 and part 3, and just enjoy it. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video you saw, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.